All right, so I have lived in Northern Virginia all my life, so who not better than me to give you an honest review of living in Northern Virginia. So let's just get right into it. First of all, let's talk about the cons of living in Northern Virginia. Obviously notoriously known for having terrible traffic. This morning I had to take a trip down 66 to an appointment in Sterling, Virginia, which would have only taken me about 30 minutes. It was 9 a.m. There was a wreck. It ended up taking me a good hour and 15 minutes. For some reason, when there is an accident around here, we have not figured out how to get it cleaned up quickly and get everyone back on the road. So number one con is definitely going to be the traffic for sure. Another thing that a lot of people don't touch on too much is the weather around here is very iffy. So in the summer, it can get extremely hot here. You're talking 90 to 100. Like I've been in Florida before in June or July, and it's been hotter here than it has been in Florida. And then this past winter, we did have a really terrible winter, and it was often pretty cold, windy, and gloomy outside. So that is definitely a con to me as well. I had a tough time, especially if you have seasonal depression with the different weather changes this past winter, but the different seasons are definitely beautiful. You get to experience them all. So that is definitely a plus. Another con that a lot of people don't think about is it's definitely a bedroom community to DC, right? So when you get out, especially to more of like the suburbs of like Manassas, Gainesville, Haymarket, Leesburg, Ashburn, a lot of the people live out there, but they commute right into DC, so you don't get as much of like the community feel, I would say. And a lot of the people, you know, they'll come around for 3 or 4 years and then they'll move away. It's not like we have a lot of like long-term lifers living here forever. A lot of people just get transferred in and out, so it's definitely a bedroom community, which to me can for sure be a con if you get to know your neighbors for 3 years and the next thing you know, they're out the door again. One thing too I always like to touch on, especially when they're talking about building around here, is there's constantly things being built, which can be great, but there is a lot of like dump trucks on the road, construction traffic, roads closed, and all that constant building, especially with all the data centers around here. So just like constant changes, constant building, all kinds of dump trucks, like I said, on the road, which drive me absolutely insane. But that is definitely another huge con. And the biggest con by far, it is got to be one of the most expensive places to live in the United States, in Virginia, period. By far, the housing prices here are super high, and just the cost of living in general is high. You know, my property taxes just went up $2,000 this year. And then we also have in the state of Virginia a pretty large car tax. And my grandfather actually was a senator here for like 30 years. He's since passed away, but he was one of the main people that got that car tax even taken down further. So it used to be about 4 times as much as it is now. So it can be really expensive to live in Northern Virginia, but those by far are my biggest cons. If you live in the area and there's something I did not touch on, comment below because I want to see what you guys say. So let's get into the pros. Now I know I just complained about it, but gotta be everything is newer here. I really like that a lot. You know, if you go up to New England or some of these older places, all the buildings are old, all the houses are built in the 1800s. I like everything new. All the commercial buildings here are new, the restaurants are new, the houses have built in the last 10 to 15 years, all the high schools are brand new, everything is new. Like my house was built in the last 20 years and there's just new construction everywhere. So if you want that new feel and you don't want that old house with like hardly any amenities, this is definitely a great place. Number one reason people move here and stay here is our amazing job market. The job market here is killer. We obviously have Amazon moving into Arlington, which is going to be some huge changes with that. You bring in even more jobs. So the job market here is just like amazing. Well, after since I graduated high school here, I had a lot of friends move away to Florida or California and Texas. A lot of them came back, especially when they started a family, because they said, you know what, I can make so much money here. There's such a good job market. There's plenty of choices and all that. So the job market, definitely amazing. Housing prices always go up around here. Outside of my whole time living here, that crash that we had in the mid 2000s, the housing prices here are always going up 5 to 7%. That's because we have an ever-changing market, so many new people coming in and out, so many companies coming out, so that makes housing in demand here. There's not much more land that they can build on, right, in Northern Virginia, so there's not much more houses we can build, so the housing prices always go up here. I was at a seminar about a year or two ago, and they were saying that Northern Virginia and DC was definitely going to have one of the biggest lack of housings in the the country by far. Next thing is government jobs. There's always I always tell people, look, you know what? If the DC area, Maryland and Virginia go down, you're going down with it, because that means the federal government is not doing good. Well, at this pace, who knows if the federal government will always be doing good, but there's tons of government contractors, government jobs, big government contract jobs, all that. So, look, you know what? We all know the government, if they need something, they just print more money, unfortunately, whether you think about it or not, but it definitely helps our area here in Northern Virginia, helps our economy, helps us bring in higher wage people with high levels of education and all that. So the government jobs is here to stay, and we live next to DC. So unless they plan on moving the nation's capital somewhere else, which I can't imagine they're going to move the White House, then I think it's going to be here to stay. And finally, there is a ton of things to do here. So we're so close to DC, but actually out here in Virginia, we have a ton to do. We have concert venues, wineries, breweries, pretty much anything you can think of. So if anyone ever tells you, hey, you know what, I'm bored, there's nothing to do here, they've obviously never really been to other places, unless you're talking about Disney World or New York City or Hawaii or something like that. But we obviously don't have a beach or a huge theme park. But you know what, there is plenty to do here. Like on any given weekend, I'm going to birthday parties, wineries, breweries, a concert, going into the city to have something to eat. So much to do in DC. So definitely if you want to learn more, a little more about Northern Virginia, click on the one video here where I suggest more of my videos to watch your Northern Virginia real estate expert.